So, and I shoot. She's one is no working.
At least that's.
Yeah.
How cameras work.
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay. Just yes, it's not.
From me is you can actually, it's not that hard because you can very space.
Sì, io ho lavorato, ero
For 2 years.
insomma,
Just that's right. So yeah, yeah, exactly. You asked me to.
You basically are your nurse. Very long.
Gute Woche für Sie.
Morning call.
No worries, no, I knew you would. I like if you text it, and then I can go to party.
And before the lunch.
Jump in noch was.
Ich aus der Presse. Kannst du, wenn das dabei ist. First.
Ja, tamam da yapacağız.
What's my
Ja, das ist
So, 15 minutes you've been able to
See that now. Thank you.
No. Well, yes.
Listo. Okay. They are open. Yes. So they are open. It's on, but it's on. So when she's I will be upset. Okay. Thank you. Okay. And the computer is coming. Sorry. Let's go coffee. I'm next to lunch. Okay.
That's when I was sitting there. Yeah. And of course, I missed you last night. Yes. I was just. Yeah. After 3 minutes, it was wine. It's a little bit longer, no, too long. You're right. I think I want to go over to for. Yes, yeah, I sent it all back. It's all thoughts. So.
Okay, yeah.
You cannot get part, you cannot get part of it.
No?
What's that?
Yeah. Ah, but that's, it's got to be.
What is it?
Hello, 3 or 4 years. I trust my dimension.
Only one. No, that's one. The good idea for that. What is my son? Yeah. They don't. Yeah. Gotcha.
It's ready now.
Yeah, we're gonna start.
Yes,
yeah.
Is the online connection working fine? Is the online connection working fine?
Yes.
So here too, you got about it. Like the microphone. That's all später.
Yeah, it's no, it's no, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, we just checked. Okay. This is speak online. I need to be close to the microphone. Good morning. Thank you for coming to this final StoRIES meeting. Well, I didn't realize that Miriam gave me 15 minutes, so now I have to talk. It has been a great journey for me, for us, I would say. I mean, starting from the joint program energy storage, we developed the concept of StoRIES. We proposed it, we got it funded, which was even more surprising to us, because I still remember that this call was dedicated to the synchronons. Sorry for you that you were working on synchron during your scientific career. But we made it, and actually, as Miriam will show you, the overall the project has been very successful. I would say we achieved all the targets. The only complaint, I mentioned this yesterday too, is that I don't see much industry here, which is a little bit surprising. So this is definitely a big problem for European projects, is to get industry strongly involved. We managed to get them involved to a very high level, in a sense. But maybe with the next one, with the Rise Energy, which is a kind of follow-up of StoRIES, you will be more successful. What else? Personally, well, I will say these are the conclusive remarks tonight, but I'm very thankful to all the partners, all the research infrastructure affiliates for offering a good, super good service to scientists and engineers. And since we have a very packed schedule, I think I will give the word to Miriam, and we start with the real meeting. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the agenda for today. My name is Miriam Gil-Barají. I work at KIT, Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, and I'm part of the coordination team along Stefano, Olga, Pinar, Hussein, Manuel, all of them. So today I will give you a short overview into the project activities, the timeline, what has happened this year, and afterwards we will have the opportunity to see all the work packages in more data. So I will just mention the activities, and afterwards you will see what was going on in each work package. And then after the lunch and in the afternoon, we will also have the opportunities to see the activities of the different working groups, because we have 4 working groups established in this project, giving feedback to the different activities. This will also be mentioned in the afternoon. Okay, what has happened, or what this StoRIES project about? You have seen this slide many times, but I will just give you a short overview. The project has lasted during 4 years, so we are about to end the project in this month. We had a budget of 7 million euro, and then 47 beneficiaries participating in this project, including research infrastructure providers, linked third parties, and partners. And we have 64 research infrastructure coming from 17 different countries in Europe. Yesterday, we were talking and discussing a lot about hybridization of energy storage and why is this so important. And actually, this was the key research priority of this project. Therefore, we open all the calls for accessing the research infrastructure and define the different topic calls along this topic. So what are the main objectives? First of all, of course, to foster a European ecosystem of both industry and research, to bring them together, to establish this ecosystem. we put a lot of effort to involve industry and to involve all the stakeholders in the field to gather and to involve in the activities of the project. And you will see later, we managed to establish a very large ecosystem, then also to provide access to the world-class research infrastructures, of course, related to energy storage technologies. And the last but not least is to ensure the long-term sustainability of energy storage, because energy storage is key to achieve the energy transition. We need to bring this message overall. Therefore, we need to ensure this long-term sustainability by defining scenarios or roadmaps, and this is what we did in this project, and also to setting up a framework for scientific and technical training of young researchers. And you will also see we have established a very extensive training program. This is the ecosystem. You can see here, we started already with a lot of beneficiaries, a lot of participants, 17 full participants, 18 linker parties, either to ERA, to StoRIES, or to Exceleric, and then 12 subcontractors providing research infrastructure access. Therefore, are subcontractors to KIT, because KIT is a coordinator. Then on top of that, we have a very broad external layer composed of a selection panel, who are the members, the expert in charge of the evaluation of the proposals for accessing the research infrastructures. And this is a mixture of external and internal experts. Then we have an advisory board composed of 8 members giving input in general to the project progress. So we have Mark Podras here, who has joined us many times. Thank you for coming. And we build this ecosystem that is composed of more than 250 entities, not person, entities, organizations, stakeholders from industry, from universities, just contributing to the activities and to the working groups. Here you can see the different logos, so you can find yourself probably there, and then the full participants or linked third parties and subcontractors. And this is the structure of the project. We have 7 work packages. In the middle, you can see work package 1, dealing with the ecosystem. And there we have all the working groups that I will show you in the next slide, very short. Then we have work package 2, in charge of coordinating the access to the different infrastructures and to gathering all the proposals. We have work package 3, providing services, different services, for example, roadmap and StoRIES, the training program, but also acceleration platform for data that will also be shown later. We have work package 4 dealing with techno-economic and sustainability aspects of energy storage technologies. And then, of course, work package 5, dissemination, exploitation, work package 6 and 7, coordination and ethic requirements. And this is work package 1 with all the working groups that I will mention very short. Working group 1 was giving impact to the roadmap and StoRIES, and I will explain later how was this process, because this roadmap was written between the members of work package 3, but we also gathered the input from many external stakeholders, and this is what this working group 1 was focused on. Then we have working group 2, which was in charge of the definition of the topics for the different calls. We opened 7 calls for accessing the research infrastructure, and we defined the call topics in a way to attract a lot of proposals, but also to promote and to foster hybridization of energy storage. So encouraging the people not working only in a single energy storage technologies, but try to hybridize. Then working group 3 was analyzing the transnational access results, because after the access of the infrastructure, the users has to write a report and explain what they did there. And then we have a working group dedicated to the analysis of this result and included this feedback into the new calls that we opened. And then finally, working group 4 was dealing with barriers and technical and not technological barriers and standardization issues. So what has happened so far? This is the first year of the project. The project started at the 1st of November, 2021, and we got the first pre-financing payment from the Commission, almost 50%. We had already 3 project meetings during the first year. We had the kickoff meeting in Ulm, in Padova, and in Almeria. Also, we were able and successful to open the first 2 TNA calls and also the first international research exchange program, what we call IREP call. And this is very similar to the transnational access, but international laboratories. We organized some workshops already from Work Package 4 and Work Package 3. And as you can see here, we had a lot of deliverables, a lot of milestones during this first year, because we had to establish and to set up all the rules, all the procedures for accessing infrastructure and for all other activities. So therefore, at the beginning, the first year was very intensive in writing reports and establishing all the rules of the project. We also had to start an amendment because one of the subcontractors become a link third party to ERA. So this was the reason of the first amendment that we were able to close afterwards. Then this is the second year. Also in this case, we organized 2 project meetings, so biannual meetings, and we were able to start with the first summer school. This was organized in Nicosia. We also had our transnational and international calls, so regulatory basis, as you can see. We organized additional workshops. And in this case, we have also some deliverables, but not so many as in the first year. And we had to start another amendment because of the partial takeover of one of the full participants. So this is the main reason. Of course, we also include other changes, but this was the main reason for this amendment that we closed some months later. And most important, we reached to the first, we closed the first reporting period. So we had to submit all the reports, and it took a while until finally it was accepted at the end of 2023. Therefore, we got the first interim payment in January 2024. This was about 15% of the total budget of the project that was distributed to the participants. We organized again 2 project meetings and second summer school, this time in Rome, and also the attendees, the students were increasing. You will see later in the presentation. We opened additional transnational access calls as planned. We also organized some other workshops online, in person, deliverables, milestone. And also we had to open a third amendment in this case because one of the link third parties changed the affiliation from IS to ERA, which we also closed at the end of the year, right before ending the second reporting period. So this is this year, 2025. So we have a review meeting in February, right after the second reporting period, and we submitted and resubmitted all the reports, and this was accepted in June, and we got the second interim payment in July this year, which we have also distributed to the participants. We had the final and third and final summer school in Trondheim in June last year, alongside the 8th project meeting. Today we are here in Brussels in the final conference, and this is the 9th project meeting in person that we have organized within this project. And as you can see here, until the end of the project, in October 2025, we have a lot of the deliverables pending. And the reason for that is because most of the activities will give a final report. Therefore, now we have to deliver to present all the activities down so far, and we expect a lot of deliverables. Some of them have been already submitted because we know it's a lot of effort to correct, to review, and to submit them. So we are on track with all the deliverables. And then we will have the third reporting period. And we will have 60 days, so 2 months, to prepare all the reports and to submit to the European Commission. That means our final deadline, the project will end in October 2025, but the final deadline will be actually the end of December, when we will report everything to the Commission. So just to conclude, how can we tell stories and numbers? What is very important, we have more than 300 transnational and virtual weeks of access during these 4 years and during these 7 calls, because we have planned 6 transnational access calls, but we have an extraordinary call that Olga will explain you later, but we reached this number of accesses. We established the ecosystem with more than 250 stakeholders, selection panel, working groups. You can see here, LinkedIn followers, newsletters, subscribers. So this project has been also very active in dissemination of the activities. We organized 9 physical project meetings, 10 workshops, 64 steering committee meetings online. So we met at the beginning every 2 years, all the steering committee members, the work package leaders, and afterwards every 3 weeks. So it has been a very last effort in coordination just to keep it running. As you can imagine, 40 deliverables. We organized 3 summer schools, 14 seminars, online courses. We established an early stage research network with more than 46 students working in the different areas of energy storage technologies. We encourage them to work together. So to work on the hybridization because they were working in their own energy technologies. So this was also very successful mentoring program, international exchange. You can see here also technology roadmap, books, RIA, white papers, publication. We are not yet finished. We also were contributing to the Green Deal Support Office because this project was funded within the call of the Green Deal. So this is a short summary of all activities. Now you will have the opportunity to see in detail of these activities in each work package. And if you have any question, please raise your hand and I will be happy to answer.
Any question for me? She's always very clear. Just please.
No?
I don't see any
Okay.
question. Okay, thank you, Miriam. So we move then to the work packages. First with is Spiridon from Nigeria presenting work package 1.
So, I'll introduce myself this day as well. Spiridon Pantelis from the European Energy Research Alliance, leading the work package 1, which is on setup of research industrial hybrid energy storage ecosystem, but we have different tasks there that are not all of them related to the ecosystem. So let's start. So the main objectives, as we mentioned before, to keep and establish the ecosystem, having in mind long-term horizon, but also the duration of the project was one of the main goals. Then we focus on the international initiatives and international cooperation. Mark reminded us yesterday how important it is to get the buy-in from high political level, and then everything is much easier to develop your technology. And then we should not forget how important it is to promote fairness of data and to enable this interoperability and access to infrastructure. So, of course, on these work packages, almost all of, not almost, actually all of the partners participated, and all the ecosystem was engaged. But it was also led by EASE, KIT, and NR on it. So this is the Gantt chart. I don't know for you can see that we had some deliverables at the beginning to set it up, some mid-term, and especially focusing on fair and open data analysis. And then we have several ones on at the end of the project that, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, most of them have been finalized already. So Miriam mentioned before the different working groups. So these are different schematic to on working groups as well. You can see the involved experts for each of them. So 19, 28, 28. This is the work stream. Actually here, we have engaged different parts of the ecosystem through the working groups to contribute to specific work streams. So this means, for example, the task 3.3 is on STRIA and roadmap. Then the TNA calls before and after the TNAs. and of course engaging ease in industry and energy storage actors' needs. And this is something that has contributed to roadmap and S3 as well. On the more practical process part, at the beginning, all of the working groups were led by a chair, and they submitted their documents, terms of reference, and work plan, just to define the rules, to establish working processes, and to make sure that all members are on the same page. And then also all the identified risks were reported on the specific risk assessment. Then important to say that this was publicly, I mean, there were open groups, so everybody that would like, be interested to participate would join. And indeed, we have made a lot of efforts to promote these groups outside of the initial storage ecosystem, and also actually bring more people that are more experts that are interested to join this storage ecosystem, reaching out to industry, set plan stakeholders, even member states, associated countries representatives. And yeah, the last part is, okay, we also had a protocol of accepting new members. I know this is not important, but showing transparency, I think it's important to have people engaged. And yeah. So I will just mention two main highlights. I will not go into more details. So the first one on the left-hand side, you can see this is the StoRIES that we presented yesterday, and we mentioned that we had the endorsement from different ethics and industry associations, but also we presented the StoRIES on to member states and associated country representatives on the implementation working group on batteries. These people are mainly from ministries and funding agencies, and some of them from regional funding agencies. So they're not technical experts, but the majority of them are consulted by their ministry when they set up the national energy and climate plans, and sometimes when they decide where the funding priorities and which areas will be funded at national level. So of course we're not expecting the very huge interest, because these people are not on the technical level, and they are informed, and they have these. We have sent them this roadmap and StoRIES as well as a presentation. But some of them showed interest to receive a copy on the final stage for providing comments, and some of them did. So this was based on the capacity of this group. I would say it was satisfying. It was good enough result. Having in mind that this group also works on the main StoRIES of the batteries partnership, and they're not that engaged in that front either. But we know that battery industry gets a lot of funding in terms of scale, and considering also that hybrid energy storage, probably most of them was the first time that they heard about it. So this means that they had an interest to identify new areas, to see what is coming from the research sector, and also broaden their horizons on what could be the future on this. So overall, I would say it's positive that we at least managed to engage some of them, and I think a couple of them sent also their comments. So the StoRIES was also endorsed, as I mentioned, from these associations. and in several cases, we had really to explain and engage them in several meetings to explain what is about and what is at stake to benefit for them. So yeah, so this is what we have managed to do in terms of the SRIA. Then on the front of the long term of the ecosystem, of course, we're considering different pathways about the future of stories. One of them was presented by Miriam yesterday on AI stories and so on. But we consider that we should somehow put forward a document to keep the ecosystem together. So we decided to, as a first step, to have this memorandum of understanding signed by 27 organizations, storage partners, mainly RNA providers, but also LTPs. So in this document, actually, we renew the commitment of these organizations to be part of the ecosystem and give their willingness to collaborate in future projects, whatever these might be. And of course, investigate funding opportunities. Just to mention, this is not a legally binding document. We have to explain this to the legal departments of it's a university, but this was not, it went faster than a document that has more legal nature. We see it as a good start for the future. And I think it's important to have the commitment of, even if it's not legally binding, from many actors across Europe that are interested to, because it's different if you, when you sign the ground agreement, it was 2021. So what happened between then and now, and how these organizations still feel this commitment to and see the prospect of this technology. So I think it's a good step for future actions. I would like to give the floor to our colleagues from EASE with Maria, or I can also.
I think it's something that in the afternoon.
Okay, so we can have a closer look in the afternoon on working group 4, because this task is connected to the working group 4. So actually, these were the expert group. You can see many names there, and their main objective. The overarching objective was to identify which are the needs of energy storage actors, but focusing on industry. They did a lot of work there, and their main results also were fed into the roadmap. So yeah, I don't know if you want me to go through specifically. Okay, so you have this in your opinion. So we'll have more information on this in the afternoon, but will be more comprehensive, and you will have time to ask questions as well. International collaboration led by KIT, Holger. I don't know if you would like to say something, or I can present.
If you want, you can present.
Yeah, I think it's. I'll give it. You have more on.
So, I mean, basically, this task.
You need this go to the mic.
Yeah.
What? You can take, otherwise the people online.
No.
Okay.
So, in principle, this was the high-level job for international collaboration that we did. The idea was to go to as high as up, and I was involved with Mark with mission innovation. Well, and so what is mission innovation in short term? This was founded more or less in 2015, I think, in the Paris Copper event. And so you see there were some high-level people, ministers everywhere. And Mark and I, we were integrated into an activity to improve materials. This was adapted later into 2020 to the so-called collaboration module M4E. And this is basically, the job was to foster education and training, accelerate the materials development, and also to improve the innovation ecosystem on it. And there was a lead, this was Canada, this is Mark. Germany, it was me, and later the European Commission participated. And so this is just for your background. Okay, and then, of course, StoRIES had these materials activities, which we included as one of the main activities of M4E. And actually, I can't remember all the events. I have to check what really went on. But we had large mission innovation events. Actually, they happen every year. And I participated in Pittsburgh in August 22 and in 24 in Brazil, in Foz do Iguaçu. And in Foz do Iguaçu, even in the meeting, there were the EU commissioner and the Norwegian Minister for Energy, and I had the opportunity to basically present the M4E activity, a couple of slides of StoRIES, and also Rise Energy and all what this ecosystem is doing. And so this was the high level, this was basically the key result for these high level activities. And of course, I mean, the main step ahead, let's say like this, was not showing this to ministries, but the commission people came to us and asked us, what do you present? Why is this important? And this, I mean, there were basically the ideas were really moved into the commission. Because, sorry, if I say it, the ministers recognized it, yes, but that's it, yeah. But that the people inside became aware of it, this was really positive. Okay, so and then also on the mission innovation webpage, StoRIES, as I said, was mentioned. Then we have this GCMEC activities where Courage is also participating. There's some overlap, and so we have the direct cooperation with Canada. We also try to activate the US, the DOE, and NSF be involved in M4E, and this is also in StoRIES. But you know, the political situation in the US was such that this was difficult. That's it. So then there were several international exchanges performed via online, whatever. With South Korea, we had an event where this was shown online. And then in StoRIES, as you know, and Ken has a laboratory, and there was an exchange performed as a TNA. We had also some international exchanges of people, yeah, going travel to Canada and work. Yeah, and then we had some contacts to Australia, I think, which didn't work out, I must say. We had them at the beginning. I don't know, it's most likely, I guess, because of the time difference of 12 hours. That this contact couldn't be really done. And now, again, via M4E, okay, the story is the Germans drop out of mission innovation. The Green government dropped out of mission innovation. I think in the ministry think that the impact is not big enough. The only good activity was M4E. The others were not recognized very well. And unfortunately, they are out, but they try to move me or the activities of M4E to IAM as the key activities, and then we would be involved again. And then, of course, this would be I mean, as StoRIES has materials activity, this is a chance to integrate this. There will be an event in Toronto at the end of this month. Maybe I go there. I'm not excited, but in general, I mean, there are contacts, so I hope to get this fixed. Okay, thank you. Any further?
Yes, we're not done yet. Fair open data. I don't know if somebody from ENEA or Yuli would like to say something, but otherwise I can go ahead. Okay, I can present this. So we had specific task on fair open data. You saw yesterday as well the white paper. And actually, what's in the on StoRIES, what we want to do, what actually did is to promote fair data adoption and improve also not only innovation but reproducibility of it. So at the beginning or midterm of the project, we did this data gap analysis, but focusing on energy storage, and then. As final deliverables, we have the metadata framework for energy storage and the white paper that was presented yesterday, opened in the storage energy community. So yeah, these are several fronts on the fair open data. I think also Rosanna presented yesterday, and you had a better, more in detail. You see the one subtask on the gap analysis and what actually we identified there. Then on the implementation of metadata framework, and yeah, also some solution in collaboration with Vimy Labs. And on the right-hand side, you can see some, let's say, aims or outcomes or domains that were addressed. So the awareness of fair data, the reuse of public data resources, GDPR versus IPR, and all of these issues. And as we also mentioned yesterday, fair data and business models and how we can use fair data in that front. And also training is one is a major issue as well. So if there are no comments or observations on fair data or additions, I can move to the next one. So, coordination with other energy storage initiatives. Many things have been done in several domains from not only from ERA, but from all partners. And this is the important part that it's not only one or two or three organizations trying to bring connections and identify synergies, but it's a work, collective work that everybody's doing at any time for the project. And I think this is a very strong point. So some more practical things, I would say. We did some analysis to make kind of a short, very short database of actually to identify which are the research and innovation projects. EU funded mainly, and then identifying what's in which domains which have an interest or how they address hybridization of energy storage. We contacted 23 of them, and we managed to get a meeting with 5 of them. From one hand, it's a bit sad that we have contacted so many of them, and we did not manage, of course, with reminders and even phone calls and so on, not the hardware, but you know, to those that really that we contacted were really the ones that could benefit from what we're doing. So, at any case, on the positive notes, some of them replied. We had meetings. We also had the first, let's say, exchange to promote our services and actually to better understand what is their domain, both technological but also on their processes, in order to suggest them which StoRIES services or which StoRIES work streams could benefit their work. For example, there was one of them was working on, most of them are RIES or ES, so innovation actions or research innovation actions. So they were looking into more on the barriers and more practical parts of energy storage. So, for example, we suggest them to join working group 4. Also good for them for networking, but also to join this group and see what they can get out of it. And in some of them, in some extent, this happened. Of course, we also exchange social media. We engage the dissemination communication partners. We had bi-directional subscription to newsletters and so on. And I think this is not the update, but anyways. And then we organized a workshop with those that they showed interest. And actually, this was, I will show you on the next slide, but this was one of the most attended, let's say. So in the grant agreement, we had to organize one workshop per year. But on the preparation in some of them, we had several discussions on how to approach, because we're thinking either, do we bring forward a result that we have and we bring people to kind of to see what is the outcome? Do we discuss this outcome with other experts in the sector, or we emphasize on collaboration with others? So on the first one that we organized on KT was co-organized with the StoRIES network, is the network for flow battery research initiatives, and the joint program on energy storage. And you can see that there were speakers also from industry, like Skeleton and so on, but also from storage partners and RTOs, also the European Commission. The second one, 2024. You can see in the middle. It was the one actually that attracted 105 registrations. Not that bad for a short project with not very strong brand name. And the first part, actually, we had these presentations from the different projects that actually we got in touch with them. We found them, we identified that there is a common field of interest, and we gave them the floor and discussion to discuss actually more, to have a more technological discussion there. And on the second part, we're focusing on AI-ready data and grid-scale storage technologies. I don't know which one, which of the two attracted the most of the people, but I would say the one on AI was really attracted, and how this could be integrated to the grid. And Here we had 55 people from industry. So this was, I think, gave a signal on where the interest of industry might lie, because the first part is upcoming technologies. Some of the projects had, I think, were 5, 6, tier of 5, 6, and the other one on grid and AI was general discussion, but with a very good and knowledgeable panel. So, and the third one we organize tomorrow, very early in the morning, 9:15, and we have actually what's the topic of the discussion is we want to bring different perspectives and different opinions from experts across the energy system. So we'll have a person representing industry and how they see hybrid energy storage from their perspective. It's what would be the benefits from industry perspective. We have transport sector, specifically on maritime, and we see there how both on board and shore activities could be electrified and use hybrid energy storage. Also on grid sites, but also on from Siemens, some on market and application side, and on the on the development of battery and storage systems. So just to close, we want 2 more highlights. The one is that we're working closely with Batteries Europe, which is the European Technology Innovation Platform, and actually is a very large community, but focusing only on batteries. And there they have a task force on hybridization, which also delivered a position paper. So storage partners there had a leading role, and we had frequent exchanges as well between StoRIES and these task force. And you can see it's also mentioned on the acknowledgements on that bottom of the paper. Another highlight I would say is that we had StoRIES featured on the set plan progress report as part of the reporting exercise of the implementation working group on batteries. So it's not purely batteries related domain, because normally this is asked from the IVG to report on battery activities, but we added it. Actually, it was featured on the step plan report. So I think that's all from WP1. I don't know if you have any questions or any comments, remarks. Yes.
Wait, because otherwise the online people will not listen.
Thank you. So yes, CEO, I have a question about the NOU, which you also signed as an LCD.
Thank you.
So what is now the further plan? We have this MOU signed. What to look forward?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned before, the importance is to keep the ecosystem, of course. This is not a practical step. This is kind of you give the sign that you're interested in this technology. So after this, there might be. I mean, we have already participated in one proposal on AI and how to develop, the AI stories that Miriam presented yesterday. So this is one step, but other parties might also want to expand and have other activities as well, hydrogen storage. And this MOU actually shows them that these organizations are interested to join and collaborate further. So it's for sure, it's for, I don't know if we can define such a thing as quoting or just KIT and so on, but for sure they're not activities only come from, 2-3 organizations. And I think that whichever member develops something with hybrid energy storage knows that who is on board, who might have a research line, who might have research infrastructure, who might have skills or some background on hybrid energy storage, and who is willing actually to participate in technology development at any level, because as you can see, it's one is research infrastructure, another one is developing digital twins and virtual infrastructure, and another thing on scaling up nodes and going to demo sites and so on. So we left it a bit broad, but the idea is that or not but you see who to which organization to contact, and this is on the part that you asked on what's next in terms of practical terms, because the MOU has also a momentum, it gives also momentum and a leverage to influence funding at European but also national level. When you have this, and this is actually the main point of an MOU, to have this collective and massive interest in a specific part. So it would be easier actually to develop any activity and ask funding at your national level when you have the commitment of so many organizations.
Yeah, so I think that's always the challenge. I mean, StoRIES was very successful, right? We have research infrastructure from across Europe, right? And there was a lot of effort put into this, right? And there's a clear need for it. So expressed by the MOU, although I'm not sure how much industry is actually also involved in this MOU. Might really be stronger if industry gives a clear signal that there is a clear need for this, right? But then the next step, of course, is okay, then at some point the ends, right? So how do we now make sure that it's not, it doesn't dissolve? This MOU is a good step in the right direction, a clear signal. And now my question is, what was the next step? If you did answer it, thank you.
Maybe I can give you a comment on that. So this consider that's where this project came from the area of energy storage. So this is a long-term network. We are working together, and we will keep working on hybrid energy storage for sure. We have many other activities, and now project storage is stemming, but the network is there, and we will organize events. We will also invite this ecosystem. We will try to keep it alive, let's say. So also Rise Energy, the follow-up project, is a step forward. Of course, we cannot integrate all the partners. There are different constellations, but we try to keep this alive while writing new proposals. And so I would say that the long-term perspective is still the European Energy Storage, so the European Research Alliance, where most of the partners are.
That's another comment here. Yeah, answering this question. Two issues, I mean, concrete issues, could be of interest. One is AI storage, related to industry. AI storage will be developed, the research community will develop digital twins of energy systems, devices. So we don't want to go into details, which one doesn't matter. But in the early step, we will already invite industry to participate in the development of the digital twins, anything so that they do not do, so that we can ensure that they do useful things for you. then when they're developed, they can take them over, use them, basically adapt them for their needs, whatever, and they can support it. So I think because if it's really true, something that we can speed up the development by would be already enough. Then, I mean, this is a huge competitive advantage, and I think this should be enough bait, basically, that it just reach jumps. So I think this is a good development. The other one is, I mean, the research infrastructures which we had in StoRIES itself, and this is a good foundation, basically, to set up an SP infrastructure network, like the Excel, very similar to it, not the same, but the similar. And basically, we could try to move this forward. I mean, we have only 2 renewable S3 research infrastructures. And if you look into the strategy documents, you see that they ask for more. And as we have discussed this yesterday, the clean energy transition is only possible long-term, long-term and long duration storage systems. And I mean, we need to reduce the price of these devices, or the cost of the devices for electric power, for the thermal storage, because this has a direct impact on the economy. So, I mean, we have a good argument to move this forward. Maybe it's not done in 2 years, but we need a strong network to move this forward. We need partners in the Netherlands and everywhere. I think we have, if we speak on it, we have a good chance.
Thank you for the presentation and for the useful comment.
Any other comment?
Any other? Otherwise, just to stay in time, we move to the next speaker. Thank you, Peter. Olga from KT, and she will present Work Package 2, PA and VA. Good luck.
So, that's the wrong direction. So, hello, everybody. I think most of you know me already. And for those that don't know me, my name is Olga Simiska-Pazolt, and I work together with Miriam at KIT. I take care of the work package 2 in StoRIES. And this work package is not like the work package 1 or 3. It's a little bit different. We take care there only about the accesses, provided accesses. This work package is very strongly combined with 2 working groups. In working group 2, it's Yannick somewhere here, who will present it later. The calls are prepared for the accesses. It means we opened 7 calls in StoRIES in which we asked for proposals to access our laboratories. And the calls were prepared in working group 2. All the data that we received through the accesses, the scientific data were analyzed in working group 3. The presentation will also come in the afternoon. What I will do today is here in this presentation, and only to show what we did in the last 4 years in work package 2. So first, just a short introduction. If that's what I said already. What we deal with in the work package 2 is the provision of an access. Access that should be easy to get, but of course has to be checked if the access is justified. It has to be for free for the users. And in this work package, we have 2 tasks. In the first one, we manage everything. And this is the task 2.1. And here you can see a small table I found in the very first presentation of work package 2. This table comes from the kickoff meeting. And you can see here who is involved in this work package from the management side. So we have KIT, SE is me, and you have Excel Eric also, who has some link third parties with infrastructures. and who also prepared two deliverables at the beginning of the project. We have ERA, it's Ivan Mateja, who was the leading person at the very beginning of this work of this project. And we have also EASE and TEA. I'm not sure if you remember, there was Amin at the very beginning. So he wrote with us this project and this proposal, and after that, he unfortunately left EASE. That's the organizations that are involved. And task 2.1. In task 2.2, that's where we have the accesses. And here we have the all research infrastructures providers involved in the project. So that's our Gantt chart. On the left-hand side, you see our deliverables and also one milestone. It's the last transnational access call published. And what you can see here also the calls that we opened, and actually everything went according to the plan till the call number 6. That's why you can see this milestone is marked in yellow. And why it was like this? Because we had some problems with estimating how much money we really still have for the accesses. And as Miriam already mentioned, at some point we decided to open the 7th call, the extraordinary call for the proposals. And I will describe call by call what happened and why we did have this extraordinary call and so on. We still did not deliver two very last deliverables in which we gather all the reports from all the accesses. The deadline we have is, of course, the end of October, so we still have time. And as some accesses are still ongoing, are not finalized, we cannot deliver those two deliverables at the moment. But as I was informed, everything will be there on time. So, as already mentioned, we had 7 calls, and the information about the calls is online. We did not remove all calls. Everyone can go to our webpage and look how it developed, what kind of call topics we had, also how many accesses we had. The reports from the accesses are also available online. In the reports, you will not find the names of the users, you will not find the email addresses. We removed them, but everything what happened during the accesses is there. Okay. So I will just start with the first transnational call that we opened in the March 2022. It means 6 months after we started the project. And the call was opened directly after the website was ready and our LinkedIn was ready and everything. So we didn't really receive a lot of proposals, only 4. And I will not go into the details in those tables because you will see them now on every slide, just to show how we developed, what was changing. So you can see here the thin time, if it's finalized or if something happened. You see the partner, LTP or a subcontractor that received the access, and of course the number of access days and the costs that were declared or will be declared in the future. So that's the call number 1. And as you can see, out of 4 proposals that were approved, accepted, 2 were withdrawn at some point. There were some private reasons in it and some change calculations and so on. So that's the main reasons. And in every call, we had situations like this. But after the first call, receiving 4 applications, we thought, okay, it's not enough. So what we will do with it? What we did, first of all, is we asked people why did not apply. First of all, we were not known. StoRIES was not known as a project. Second thing, no one understood what is this hybridization. So we put a definition on our webpage so that everyone understands what it is. And also we thought that the reason was that we were new, also online. So we started to work a little bit more with LinkedIn and so on, and it helped us. So what we also did, and that's a very important point, we said we have to ask our research infrastructure providers to contact their potential users. And they did. So in the second call, we already had 10 applications, but we noticed another problem. So after that, we asked the research infrastructure providers to contact the potential users. We got 6 applications only to one infrastructure out of 64. And we have got 3 to subcontractors of KIT, and only 1 was to our partner institutions. And there was 1 between KIT and EDF. So it was idea that some researchers from KIT go to EDF, some from EDF to KIT. And we thought, okay, so it seems to work, but maybe we have to do something more. And what we did, we put some examples. What can be done, how we understand hybridization. And we included some ideas from geothermal, because we have also geothermal infrastructure from ERIC here. And from chemical storage, how we can combine it, what we are looking for. That was the next step to make the distribution of the requested infrastructure a bit brighter and to get more accesses, of course, and more proposals. But you can also see here in the table are those TNA 2.4, TNA 2.8. We got some withdrawals this year. Through the project, I was asking the users and the infrastructure providers from this list, is the access ongoing? When will it happen? When will you start? At some point, in some cases, there were answers, yeah, we are ongoing. Yeah, we will start later. And that was my last question. That now the project is ending. I need to know now if I get all the reports till September. And then I got those 3 withdrawals. So as you can see, working with it is not quite so easy. And what's even more difficult is to estimating how much money will be spent on the access. But then we had a 3rd call in March. And the distribution was a little different of the requested infrastructure. So we had 4 to Cyprus Institute, 4 to subcontractors, 3 to partners already. So it changed a bit. But what's specific in this call, we had the first rejection. So in storages like this, that when we get application, first we check if the application makes sense, if everything is included, the information that we need from the user, what they want to do. Then the application goes to research infrastructure provider. And he tells us, yes, it's feasible, or no, it's not feasible, what the user wants to do. And the last step, if the research infrastructure provider says yes, the application goes to selection panel. So that's our researchers that are checking the applications, providing points, and so on. And for every application, at least 3 independent researchers have to click the points. Here we had a situation that's the TNA 3.8 was, let's say, too weak to be accepted. And too weak means that it got less than 60% of the points. So that was the first rejection in StoRIES project. After that, we had the 4th call again. The distribution changed a bit. We had 3 applications to TNO, 1 to Cyprus Institute, Uni Bologna, La Peranta University, 4 subcontractors, partners, KIT and AIT. In this case, we had 3 rejections, but I think it's something typical. The larger the number of applications, the larger the possibility that some of them are weak. So we rejected 3 applications in this case. You can also see these orange balls by Cyprus Institute. Cyprus Institute had so many accesses. At some point we said, okay, it's not possible anymore. And they told us, okay, we have some budget, we'll keep the budget. It means the users, they can come, they can make their experiments as planned, and we will not charge or charge it much lower. So that's why for this 22 days of access, they charge 9,000, even though it should be much more. Again, we have here one withdrawal in October 2024. Also important to notice this date. And after this call, very successful. It was the call with the largest number of applications. We opened the 5th call. And again, the same kind of table for rejected. But in this case, the rejections were not because the applications were weak, but because we noticed, okay, we have no money left. So we said, okay, we were very sorry, but we said, no, it will not work anymore. And we said, if we accept it, we will probably have some problems afterwards. One application 5.8 was withdrawn before evaluation of selection panel, and one application, project 5.2 is still ongoing. It's not still ongoing. I just received yesterday the documents, so it's finalized, it's finished. The number of 84,000 euros, I'm not sure if it's correct now. I would have to look in the documentation. The call number 5, 6, and 7 are not finalized. That's why also we have this estimated overall cost, not the final overall cost of the accesses. So after the 5th call, we thought we had no money left. What will we do? It was October, it was summer 2024, when we had to start to plan the 6th call, the last one. And so we were October 2024, TNI budget used, only virtual access is possible to one of our infrastructures, any infrastructure that was for us, for StoRIES users, free of charge. So we wrote a call topic only for this infrastructure, and we thought, okay, we are done with it. No money left and so on. But then, in the same month, we received some calculations from the research infrastructure providers that the cost will be lower than expected. One access that was estimated on 165K was withdrawn. And so we know, okay, we have again money, what will we do? That was a little bit problematic. We were not sure at the end how much money we really have, but we know we have to do something with it. So from the TNA 5 call, we thought, okay, we can accept 2 of the rejected applications. And we did it. One to SINTEF and one to CMAT. Unfortunately, the one to CMAT was withdrawn just 2 months ago because of the visa issues. The lady tried very much, but it was not possible. And the situation changed a bit. But even though we accepted those 2 additional initially rejected applications, we thought, what will come next? In TNA 6, we received 2 applications. They were approved by any, and they're already finalized. I have almost all documents now. We have no costs here, of course. We have some accesses to the infrastructure. And in the 6th call was closed in January. We thought, okay, we have to do still we have this idea that we have to deal with it. So we had money, we had no time. It was this year already. So what we do, we decided to open a call to StoRIES that did not have any access up to now. That was the first way, and they have to provide access quickly. So we contacted those infrastructure providers and asked them, is it possible for you to open call now? Maybe you have already users in mind. You can write the application with them together. It has to be done quickly. But only one infrastructure agreed, only one organization to deal with it. And that was Forschungszentrum Jülich. That really said, okay, we will manage it. We have some ideas, and they applied. The call was open only for 2 weeks to make it everything possible to happen, 2 or 3 weeks. And that's these accesses are ongoing. What's important to say, I say always transnational access. I mean with it also virtual access. We dealt with it a little bit in a different way in StoRIES than in many other projects. We also wanted to see what the user wants to make and wanted to have some kind of evaluation process, at least from the research providers. So that was the last call we opened. It was a few months ago, and the access will be finalized. Kurosh, you can confirm.
Okay.
Yeah, great. So that was our way through all the accesses and changing budgets and so on. Here you can see finances, data, summarizing it all. In the first column, you see we had altogether 58 proposals. We accepted 52. 8 were withdrawn. We finalized already 40 and 4 are ongoing, but the number is not correct anymore. We have, I think, 2 ongoing now, or 3, I'm not sure. We had 1,000, estimated number of access days is 1,676. That's what we estimate now. And as Miriam mentioned, we promised some weeks in our grant agreement, and it was 1,600 days. It's corresponding to 320 weeks. So I think we are there. I hope so. We are waiting for the last numbers. We estimated some costs already, assuming that the yellow numbers are correct. And we spent for the accesses about 1,500,000 euros. We planned for it 1,824,000 euros. And in one of our amendments, we shifted some money from International Research Exchange Program to TNA program, just to be sure that we have enough. But at the end, probably we will have left over about 470,000 euros that we were not managed to spend. We also have some cost considering the travel of the users listed there. The very last column shows the numbers. In this case, we have cost of about 200,000 euros. At the beginning, we planned 209,000 euros. 40,000 from this we shifted to summer schools because there was money really missing. We missed the money to make powerful, nice summer schools with good speakers. At the end, we have like 50,000 euros left there. But to summarize, we are not fine. We are not finished. We have some still ongoing accesses. And even though we did not manage to spend the money allocated in the budget to the transnational access, we think we managed to have the promised 320 weeks of accesses. And we are still to deliver to submit, and they will be ready on time. And I think that's everything to summary it. But I think it's also important to notice that it's not only KIT that worked on it. That are the people of selection panel. They offer us their time, the efforts. They were not paid for the work for checking the applications. They just did it for us, for the community. And I have to say a thank you to all of them. I also have to say thank you to researchers representing the research infrastructure providers. They worked really hard to deliver the information for the web pages. They discussed with us some problems. They were always there when we had questions, when we sent them emails, and that were partners, third parties, but also the subcontractors of KIT that did not really have a lot of money in the project for this kind of task, but they did really nice job. I would like to thank you to researchers working on the infrastructure that were just hosting, taking care of the users, and of course the colleagues from the legal and financial department, because they had to deal with us as well. Many hours, many days, many emails, many meetings online we had, and it was hard also for them, but we managed. And of course, thank you to the users. Without them, we will not be able to have it. And what's important to notice, the users are publishing the work that's coming out from the accesses. So the working group 3, Sylvia will present, I think, only four first publications that are online. But I was informed by users they are publishing, they have articles, they have proceeding. Some articles are now being evaluated, some already accepted, but not online. So we have a long list of scientific results from out of it. And that's everything from us. Any questions?
Questions for? No questions from the office?
Not the right.
It's the transnational access has been tough to handle. Let's say it was somehow a new scheme, let's say also for the commission, I think, because we got a lot of questions about it. But at the very end, we have been successful. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to spend all the money.
Yeah.
So KT will have to give back almost 500,000, but this is a pity. But there was no way. I mean, these withdrawn proposals were for us projects, but for us a big problem, and they at the end, so there was no chance to recover. We did our best.
Mm. The point is also, at some point, we asked the provider to lower the cost of it. Now, just to think about this, costs are not high and so on. And they did, like PID. And then after that, yeah, we'll have to.
Yeah, also EDF.
Yeah.
We worked a lot on reducing their cost because initially it was super high, but then this was actually a waste of time for us.
Yeah.
Waste of time. But it's okay anyway. We don't want to waste money from the commission. Mark.
Yeah, thanks for all the information. Question I had is the RIs, they have descriptions, people probably can access some descriptions of them. Was there any analysis done of what they provided, how they provided it? So more details so we can understand what the interaction was, the actual access interaction, so that people can see the kinds of activities. And the other thing, how effective was the access? Will it in some way be assessed?
That's an important point. We have working group 3 that deals with the scientific outcome of the access. So that was SIGA represented. So there were people checking the reports, the scientific reports, the satisfactory survey, and so on. They did it. So it will be shown in working group 3. What we also did, we had, after every access, the user and the provider had to deliver a report with some question on many different questions. The data, for example, will it be saved and so on. After everything was closed, I mean, the reimbursement to the user was closed. We were done, let's say. We also decided to send additional survey to them, just to ask, are you satisfied with the provider? Are you satisfied with us? So that the user knows, okay, there's no exchange anymore. I can write the real thing, how it was really. And it will be included in the last deliverable. The point is that it's confidential. So it's only for us, small branding, to get an insight into it. But yes, we try to access it.
And so a follow-on, yesterday I talked about really identifying the sites for demonstration for future. We can scale demonstration activities because we really want to move higher TRL, etc. How well do you know the RIs and which ones would be the best for certain parts of hybrid energy storage, whether it's grid or it's some other aspect? How well do you know it, and will someone address that so that we can learn how we use them, how we focus money into them for future calls, proposals that we put in to try and leverage out StoRIES?
Yeah, the problem is, I think, lack of time a little bit for such kind of tasks. And for this, you need someone who is aware of how thermal storage works, electrochemical storage works. You need someone who has it all in his mind, let's say, and the knowledge is also there. And that's a huge problem to decide what's better, what's not. We are still in silos, even though we try to break them. And maybe, Stefano, you would like to add something.
Yeah, in a sense, the excellent work presented by the students yesterday is actually an example. I mean, they were not coming from these things, but they tried to combine and get themselves informed. Actually, They work, I think it's pretty good. I strongly recommend them to try to have permission for the use of the data coming from Norway, but from NTNU and public the results. Will support you in any way.
I can also give a comment on that. Yesterday, we will present the rice energy. Rice energy is not only about energy storage, but about the system integration of all technologies. So in that case, we couldn't integrate all of the 64 research infrastructures from storage into rice energy because we have 10 different technologies: ocean energy, concentrated solar power, PV, grids, materials. So we just pick up the most representatives, also dealing with different energy storage technologies. This is how we deal with this. The most active, the most representative were included in rights and we agree with that time.
Also, Spiridon was mentioning Spiridon, that now energy storage is considered by many other, let's say, entities, usually dealing only with the renewable energy generation. Now they are integrating energy storage top programs within their activities. I think one of the big success of StoRIES has been to make scientists and engineers aware of the real need of energy storage. Before it was just considered as the Jens Hartmans mentioned yesterday. He said, yeah, and then there is energy storage.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's becoming a little bit more in the focus. These are the biggest success. Great. Other questions for we are okay, we can get a much longer coffee break, but if there are questions or comments, this would be what yes.
Just a comment talking about, so giving an example of Norway. So because of having the discussions with customers and companies within the energy system in Norway, we had an opportunity to attend a seminar where we had presentations from industry, and we discovered that the hydro energy producers in the wind turbine, people operating the wind, have now actually started using batteries to augment their energy production equipment with a specific aim of increasing the response time in case of a facade or a holding, but also most importantly to minimize their maintenance cost, because the batteries respond faster, hence reduce the mechanical degradation of their equipment. So that is something I would never have understood or comprehended if I hadn't been participating in StoRIES and being able to see ways in which batteries can be hybridized with other energy production or transmission or storage systems. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Forget the feeling. Other points. Otherwise, we go for a coffee break, assuming that it's ready yet or not. Okay, then let's give another close to job. Checks in the StoRIES folder. I have more than 1,000 emails from this lady. And altogether, I have like 12,000 emails in the StoRIES folder. It has been a huge work. How we did it. Okay, now let's enjoy the coffee break.
Yeah, I hope so.
And the coffee break is served on the 7th floor. Yeah, why? I don't know why you're talking about.
I see the same mistake.
understand. Yeah, exactly.
I was the first.
Yeah,
I couldn't take
people ask me to come. So I said, yeah, I like. Yeah, likewise. He's a man. He's a I was in charge of this. So I don't remember.
No, you're not the first.
Thank you.
That's very stressful.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a pensionist.
Everyone starts.
That's a good idea. That's a little.
But I'm actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I was not working in education anymore. But I'm buying the like to buy. I was trying to read. Nee, das ist Maschinenbau. Bereichsleitung kann verschiedene immer unbedingt. Genau, in der letzten Jahr war ich nicht mehr bei, aber weil er immer sehr involviert ist, sehr aktives Land, waren wir immer in Kontakt, mindestens, aber ich war nicht direkt bei. Deswegen ist Nachricht mir ein bisschen auch so, never bei gekommen, ich weiß auch nicht.
Was ist das für Dr. Aufwand? Das
Nee, you have to be aware of
Das ist der Nachfolger von.
How was it taking over from?
Challenging. Das ist der neue.
It's quite hard. It's not big. It's like it's huge.
Is it cool? Something I'm really good overview. So also it can go on with the main necessities. Goals first.
Yeah.
What is it? Very much on the practice on the that's what everyone said.
Wir haben verschiedene Sensor. And it's like, yeah. Yeah.
The software there is
Yeah, no, I see that. Yeah, they're interested. Okay.
Die Rolle Scientific Advisory Board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ja, wenn etwas ist, wir sind immer auch da. Wir sind immer in Kontakt mit Volker und ja. Ja, und die koordinieren wir auch neue Anschaffungen via hier, dass wir nicht so wir wollen zu einer Plattform, wo wir
Yeah, so this slide 59, we're gonna hide it because it's not totally correct. The second last one. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, because I see that not all the deliverables are in place and that we have some review in our total showing. Mine is the 3.1 is in place, 3.2 should be the next one. I see that there's no slides there. Okay, yeah. So there's 3.2. And perfect. Then 3.3. And then 3.4. Yes.
He said that he's gonna put
Yeah,
at the end, but then just.
Okay, just mention it.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
So you have, that's it. It's quite a lot of coffee.
Yeah, total might be about 80, but it's many of them are titles and it will be faster on shows. And then it's counting also the hidden ones, and I see that they're per hidden.
Diese jungen Programs haben natürlich Overlaps. Es gibt andere, zum Beispiel in Concentrated Solar Power, und wir haben einige Overlaps in Thermal Storage. Das ist unterschiedliche Temperatur, aber es gibt immer
Everything seems to be in place.
wir haben auch
Thank you very much.
zum Beispiel in Universität
The coffee is done. I don't have coffee.
In the center.
neue jungen Programme koordiniert bei NTNU. By all
Recognize some.
Oder Professorinnen. Genau, also in diesen jungen Programmen gibt es einen Overlap. In your Thermal wir sind obwohl wir haben zum Beispiel British Geological Survey. Das war noch von unserem jungen Programm, die sind wahrscheinlich vielleicht nicht. Welche Länder sind jetzt? Weil damals war etwas so, jetzt ist Deutschland noch gekommen. Dänemark. Okay. Und die anderen?
Die anderen sind ja die Nord.
Nee, ich meine, die anderen
Ja,
Stellen sind
ja,
ja nur im nächsten nach.
Also Polen sind jetzt dran.
Ja,
Das ist
ja.
uns schlecht aus. Wir haben jetzt 6 Institute, die da hinfangen wollen. Das liegt jetzt bei mir. Alles mitgehen, weil also vorhin und wenn noch in Belgien dran, aber Belgien ist ein bisschen schwierig.
Genau.
Funktionen gehen und dann sind sie jetzt besser.
Because it's a problem for us.
Ah, okay, okay.
I mean, it's already, you know, that some facility that
Schweiz ist keine Bearbeitung.
Ja.
Das werden jetzt auch zwei. Spanien ist aufgewacht irgendwie, ne? Aber jetzt 2. Eine weitere Forschungseinrichtung, die da Interesse zeigt.
So,
Also Schweden.
trying to be.
So jetzt im Moment.
Events, but the,
Ein
yeah,
bisschen
we are
größer.
not a huge.
Aber jetzt auch
And there, and
sehr
also,
mehr.
And I'm the one who is suffering. I just
I
can imagine the same.
Superweiten.
Yeah,
feedstock, utilization,
Yeah.
translation, manipulation, die FZ. Ja, mit. Das ist auch ganz spannend, dass wir das Portfolio.
That was also nice.
Also für uns ist auch eine interessant, weil wir wollen auch langfristig so ähnlich werden. Also diese ganze Prozess investiert nicht, wie ich funktioniert. Ich habe auch Kollegen von Spanisch von EU-Polaris. Und damals hat ich haben gesagt, dieser erste Prozess, um ein Klinik zu bekommen, hat 10 Jahre gedauert bei denen. Ja.
Also wir
And that comes down to 1 year.
Okay.
Seit
Ja.
Herstellung.
Ah, okay.
Because like,
Beziehungsweise
Okay.
angefangen Projekt, ESP,
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Preparation phase auch in Deutschland schon überall sparen. Dann zum Schluss ist er dann Frankreich, UK, Norwegen, Italien und Niederlande ist dann die anderen ist. Nee, sagen. Ich meine jetzt, die Kommission kommt natürlich jetzt auch. Ja. Zwei. Da ist natürlich auch wieder ein bisschen zwiespältig, als zum einen sagt, zu viel Erde dürfte es auch nicht geben. Auf der anderen Seite sagt, okay, strategisch wichtige Themen müssen ja irgendwo zusammengefasst werden.
Ja, eigentlich, das war unser Punkt, dass wir ein bisschen Visibility bringen zur Energiespeicherung. Weil wirklich, ich habe den bis vor 2 Jahren, hat es nicht so richtig interessiert. Man hat viel über Batterien, ja, natürlich, aber man hat viel über PV gesprochen, über Windenergie, aber man hat nicht wirklich gesprochen, wie wir das speichern. Und jetzt, wo es wirklich ist, dass wir genug erneuerbare Energien haben, das wird nicht das Problem. Wir haben die schon und wir werden das hinkriegen. Das Problem ist, wie können wir das speichern? Und vor allem saisonal speichern, long-term Speicherung, wie machen wir das? Also, ja, das ist alles eine Frage, wie entwickelt sich, wie viele Business Case können wir machen? Also ist eine Frage, das waren Batterien am Anfang nicht. Und was ist passiert in 10 Jahren? Also ich glaube schon, dass alles möglich ist, nur Storage war ein bisschen im Hintergrund. Auch mit den Regulations. Man muss doppelt Taxation bezahlen für Energiespeicherung. Und diese ganze Sachen waren nicht richtig organisiert. Und ich hoffe, dass jetzt langsam das ankommt, auch bei der Europäischen Kommission. Sie erkennen, dass ohne Energiespeicherung gibt es jetzt nicht, wir können nicht vorbeilaufen. Aber auch gestern hatten wir eine Diskussion, jemand von der Kommission, klar, alle Kommissionen. Und dann hat er gesagt, okay, ich arbeite in DJ Energy, Directorate für Energie. Und da drin, nee, das ist der Projektofficer. Gestern war jemand anderes und hat gesagt, sogar bei uns Energie ist viel kleiner als Nuklear zum Beispiel. Und sogar bei uns Energiespeicherung ist ein Minimalteil von der ganzen Unit.
Ja, aber ich meine, das ist ja wieder auch eine Opportunity, wo man dann sagen kann, okay, da kann man ja was auf dann macht es wieder.
Ja, genau. Sollen wir auch?
Ja.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My
name's
Yeah,
Yes,
nice to meet you in person.
Nice to meet you in person.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Getting ready. What about you?
You just arrived, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I arrived yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
I come only for today.
I see. Okay, very good. It's a pleasure to meet with you.
Yeah.
This is going to be, I guess, your first and last in-person
Yeah.
together because this final event.
Exactly. Yes. I knew some people already in the chapters of the books, and some
Okay.
interactions with the reviewing, and also they met some people. Programs. So,
Okay, you are part of the community
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Amazing.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So everything ready? You're presenting 3.4.
For education
Yeah.
training and just in a few minutes your timing is perfect. We will start with work package 3.
Yes. I
Yes, we will set us 75 minutes just in case if there are any questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't worry about extending a little bit. So,
Yeah, just we have yes with questions
Yeah.
just in case until 1 o'clock.
yeah. Yeah. The questions are done after each task to keep it flowing. So
Did you want to moderate? Stefano is the moderator.
Okay.
I don't know how these things organized.
Yeah. What was the name of your organization? Okay.
Yeah,
It's a
Stefano coordination team.
Yeah.
So I'm involved in both education and training program, but also project management.
Are you from Germany?
Yeah, we work in KIT, but I'm originally from Turkey.
Okay, from Turkey. How long did you live?
Usually 5 years before I did my PhD in Ireland, and I lived there 6 years also. So almost 12 years abroad.
Yeah.
Is it Spanish name, right?
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
yeah,
It is.
Spain.
From Spain, but living in Norway.
How long?
It's almost 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, simple.
How do you think living in Trondheim?
I think dark is the most particular food. Dark and very bright.
In summer, we were there in
Yes, in the summer.
Oh, yes, and it was totally bright.
Yes, there's no night. It's very special. Some.
And you are coming from, hot climate country, and Trondheim might be challenging in winter, maybe.
I'm from the north, Spain. From it's a great summer.
It's kind of challenging.
They say a lot is a lot. Like I remember winters rain in November. It was very clear sunshine. Over Highland.
Yes.
And probably know.
The weather like that.
Exactly. Very great. So in that sense, I have to say I was fine.
Oh, very good.
You just know everything anyway. And it's hard to ride, and it's more enjoyable. Well, it's all nice.
Very good.
How about them?
Germany. I feel like it has high security. Most money is from Germany. So we have also south compared to other cities.
Maybe
Yes.
Are you moderating the panel? Are you moderating the session?
The whole day. Please sit. Although we had a 45 minutes break, we are late.
Yeah.
So ready to start with the work package 3, which has been definitely a very important work package in as all the others, maybe except the manager. Julie. And the presentation will be given by all the key players involved. The reason is that Jorge is actually helping us, but he was not really following work package 3, so we asked him to make a kind of introduction of the work package.
Yes.
And then the key players also will participate. Please.
Yes. Thank you very much, Stefano. I'm representing my colleague Roberto Cipriano today, who did a great job leading the work package 3 and also putting in the task 3.3, which you have heard a lot about it already, and we will go a bit more into detail later on. The work package 3 focuses on enabling breakthrough research and innovation across the whole value chain. As Stefano said, it's a very central work package going across the other ones and playing a role in the whole. The main objective of the project is to identify the research needs for energy storage with focusing on hybridization and also enable the breakthrough innovation across the whole value chain with special focus on life cycle analysis. For this, there have been several objectives that have been focusing on 3 main areas: technology level, education level, and last and most important also in regulation. So for this the first main objective was to establish a material intelligence platform, develop a framework for cross-level hybrid energy storage, define benchmarks across category performance parameters, support the roadmap for hybridization, and last, to train the new generation of researchers on energy storage. For this, there were 6 sub-tasks that we will see now, with many deliverables. Many of them have been in place, but as you see, most of them are coming to an end now. We have many of them already delivered, and many others will be submitted soon. I think it's in the next week, and they will have a couple of weeks of review and process, and by the end of October, everything should be ready. So for now, to go deeper on each task, it will be each task leader who will be presenting the status on the task, the main activities, the main deliverables, and I think that in order to ensure the flow, the best would be to have also the questions for each task now after they are presented. First, 3.1 is Kurosh. The value analysis of grid scale energy storage technology.
Morning, everyone. I feel much better today, so by yesterday. Had a lack of sleep for 13 hours, so I'm doing okay now. Okay, yeah, so this task essentially is trying to understand what descriptors of materials is important for developing the devices and systems. Just a list of things that has been the focus of this task. Sort of identify what elements and infrastructure in the StoRIES would feed into the acceleration of the material integration into devices. We're not looking into core in-depth scientific aspects of it. We're looking into the sort of infrastructure aspects of it, just to be clear. Modeling tools that is used for analysis of the integration as well. The demonstration of the capabilities of the analysis tools. And finally, validation and test the data set. So Stefano talked about that yesterday, and this is nothing new, that not single sort of energy storage will give the results that you're looking for a specific application. In grid scale storage, that's definitely the case. And one of the reasons that basically it's the case is that a lot of performance indicators at the application level are not as clear how it would fit into the application. There's a lot of variations of those attributes that is not clear how they're connected to application. So let me talk about the materials itself. So as you probably know, a lot of these technologies are built on materials, this innovation into materials level. What we are talking here is not the core blue sky sort of research materials in the lab here. We're talking about batteries with different chemistry that are pre-commercialized or sort of ready for demonstration. even at that level, it's not clear whether a battery chemistry A is better than B for a specific application and so on. So that relationship is not there. So this is really our focus. In energy materials, the domain in general, complexity is coming from integration compared to the sort of molecular systems. Molecular systems have materials that just get manufactured. Energy materials, you have to integrate that into a device. An example of that is the new materials for batteries, for hydrogen technologies, for solar and so on. It has to work in a component. It has to work in a device. And that process of doing testing and device level testing essentially is add to the complexity of the system. And most of the problem is that we're not sure what attributes from the application are. Commercial deployment would lead the properties at the device level, and what aspects of the materials would lead the device performance. So if you look at some of this, this is essentially what we have as far as let's say databases. If you look at the application of energy storage technologies here that are listed, it's from one of our databases. If you look at different chemistry, different technologies, there are some attributes like the life cycle, like the depth of discharge, the capacity, the energy density. A lot of these factors is related to the type, quality of the materials that is used. But what we call descriptors, that how these descriptors would define that is not as clear. So we don't know if we test the materials in the lab and we get a good, let's say, density, the energy density, would that lead to the same energy density at the device level? And if you have some descriptors that define some of these values, how we do it. So that relationship is not as clear. And that's one of the areas we're trying to basically respond to it through databases as much as possible. Key properties that is related to those descriptors at the material level are basically here. So you're familiar with some of these factors at the energy storage level, at device level, or sometimes system level, storage performance, capacity, charge discharge rates. You might have different terminologies and sort of notation for this. Of course, also harmonization of this is a big problem already as one part. But one of the things I wanted to show you there is that the distributed storage, the highest value is at the low duration, whereas bulk is at the high duration. So as you probably